Sup YouTube, this is Slidey8Fry here. I've noticed that my latest React videos, which have mostly been Angry Video Game Nerd and Scott the Woz, for my standards, have been doing well compared to my other React videos. I also recall some of my previous React videos, which were to Jonathan Pye, for my standards, had done well as well. And for some reason, I'm not seeing any of his videos pop up. YouTube isn't recommending him to me, maybe because of all the other stuff I watch. But I'm going to actually actively seek them out and watch some Jonathan Pye videos as well, because I know people want to see that, at least the people who watch me do. Now, on to Scott the Woz.
Hey y'all, Scott here.
Oh, that was loud. I can't handle that. Oh no, there's a bee. Get away from me, please. And hey, if you get on my case for freaking out over a bee, what about people who are scared of spiders? I admit I get nervous around them. My wife is actually afraid of spiders. But actually the majority of spiders are harmless to humans. Their bites, I mean, they'll hurt. They can leave a mark. But they usually keep their distance. Bees, they go after you if you bother them. And of course, bees are important. Without bees, everything dies.
Hey y'all, Scott here. I hate walls. Why do I live here? Have you ever realized there's a reason for these things to exist? That's right, you haven't, because there isn't any. But for some reason, the wall companies have a monopoly on console video games. It's just the reality we live in now.
Console
the way
video
God
games?
intended. Super Nintendo cartridges must be played indoors.
Yeah, that's right, God.
You know what was the coolest thing ever? Playing a game in an environment you couldn't normally play that game in.
Superboy, I think.
This is f***ing incredible! I'm talking taking games you can only play on the TV from a home console that only worked when plugged into an electrical socket and making them playable on the go.
Yeah.
See, I loved my Game Boy Advance, but whenever I'd pick up a game for the handheld that also released for the GameCube, for some reason, I would think, oh my god, it'll be just like playing the GameCube game on the go!
It's not.
Oh, this is rich. In reality, it was almost always a completely different game. Portable consoles just couldn't keep up with the homegrown stuff. To be fair, a lot of home console games would eventually make it to handhelds, but they would generally be pretty old by the time they did. But that didn't stop me from wanting Super Mario Galaxy and Smash Bros. Brawl playable on my Nintendo DS. I mean, they put Super Mario 64 on the system to take the game that defined what 3D gaming would be, the game that may quite possibly be the biggest leap forward in gaming history, and make it portable.
Yeah.
It's still a spectacle to behold. Taking things that always required to be plugged in at all times, to be stationary in your home, and giving you the option to take them on the go, that will always be a magical feeling.
Oh yeah,
while many games
definitely.
that appeared on home consoles eventually made their way to handhelds, No. I want to play the Super Nintendo version of this game, not the Game Boy Advance version of the Super Nintendo version. Look at this, it's kinda different. I don't want a portable device capable of playing versions of Super Nintendo games. I want a portable Super Nintendo. The idea of taking a home console and cramming it into something the size of a Game Boy has been around for quite a while.
Yeah, it
You
has.
could just buy the Game Boy version of that NES game, but wouldn't you rather play the NES game on the go? That was the mentality behind some of the first major home consoles to go, the Turbo Express and Sega Nomad.
Yeah.
And with these, we can finally stay outside forever and still play console games. No looking back! The Turbo
Still
Express
gotta plug
was
them
a
in or
portable
get
TurboGrafx
batteries.
16. You could play the exact same game cards, though you couldn't play the games released for the console CD add-on. Now, I don't own a Turbo Express because I spent all my money on not this, but I do have a Sega Nomad. Could you tell? Yeah, this is the size of a concerning growth. It's definitely not the slimmest portable out there.
Yeah,
but
the screen doesn't take
considering
up.
it was released in
Is small for
1995
that big
and is
device
a
too.
full-blown portable Sega Genesis, I think it's fairly understandable how big it is. Hell, a Sega Genesis cartridge alone is the size of a Game Boy Pocket. Of course, the system's gonna be bulky. So to play this on the go, we're gonna need a battery pack. Damn it. Alright, I'll go inside just this once to try this thing out. After that, never again. I have to plug it into a power outlet, which at that point you may ask, what's the point of playing Genesis games on this when I could just play them on a TV? It doesn't matter, because look, I'm playing Sonic 1, but it stinks now! Playing with the battery pack would require 6 AA batteries, and they'd be drained in around 2 to 3 hours. That, or there was a rechargeable option, but overall, not the greatest battery life, and installing a battery pack would make this thing nearly impossible to shove into a pocket. Not being able to put a Sega Nomad in my pocket is my worst nightmare. But in practice, honestly, the Nomad is far better than I ever expected it to be. It plays Sega Genesis games. It is an official Sega Genesis after all. The screen
is
was always what I
basically,
heard
yeah.
the most horror stories about, how it didn't age that well. And yeah, I think the biggest problem is how blurry it can get, but it's way better than many made it out to be. It's still fairly playable. And now games like Sonic, it may be a bit fast for, it gets a bit too blurry, but something like Streets of Rage works fairly well. You can adjust the brightness,
that's awesome.
which helps a ton, and you can even output the Nomad to a TV as well as connect another controller.
Why output the Nomad to the TV? Just plug your Genesis into it. Like, are there people who have a Sega Nomad but not a Genesis or something?
Truly is a Sega Genesis on the go. You just can't attach any of the add-ons like the Sega CD or Sega 32X. I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
who cares? What, was I really going to play Fahrenheit on the go?
No.
Yeah. The Nomad's pretty impressive, all things considered. I mean, say what you will about the battery life and screen quality, but it's a portable Sega Genesis from 1995. That's crazy.
But what if we want a little more power with a lot less compromises? Well, say hello to the PS1 LCD monitor, a way to play your favorite PlayStation games on a portable LCD screen as long as you're connected.
What's
One
the
more chip
point?
inside and we can play our PS1 games portably. Placed alongside the revised PlayStation model was a screen you'd attach with a couple of quarters. Plug in and bam! It's honestly incredibly simple, and the screen and sound quality is excellent. I love how there's no extra wires. It just plugs in on the back, you plug in an AC adapter, and you're playing any PlayStation game you can think of on a mini screen. Now, of course, this isn't completely portable. You need to be plugged into an outlet at all times, but it makes bringing the system around places far easier. You can
Yeah, at least nowadays, now that a lot of cars have electrical outlets you can plug into the car, like how I've often recorded my reacts in the past where I'm recording in the car, I plug the laptop into the outlet inside the car. I guess this would be more useful inside the car for that, but just in general, because of when it came out, I just don't see much use for it. Just get a regular PlayStation 1 and plug it into the TV.
bring this to a hotel, a cottage. Hell, you can get a car AC adapter and play this on the road. The screen attachment business starting to start here. I mean, here's a third-party one for the GameCube. Same general idea, but not nearly as well made, simply because the GameCube wasn't designed to work with something like this. The PS1 was. So we have this fun skin growth thing where we have to attach it here and attach this. I think I'm missing a piece.
Wait.
I recall.
A portable screen for a GameCube that involves plugging it in to the GameCube itself? Just plug the GameCube into the TV. What the hell's the point?
Seeing all these screen cases for your Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3 or Xbox One or PlayStation 4, where it's fundamentally a carrying case with a TV screen built inside. This way, your child doesn't have to go,
neat.
God forbid, a minute talking to people at grandma's. They can just bring their system with them, plug in somewhere, and keep the good times rolling. I mean, I'm guilty of this. Whenever traveling as a kid, I'd always pack up a portable DVD player in season 3 and 4 of Wings. I'd totally be set for not talking to anybody on a trip.
I never had one, but I remember those
These
things.
cases are overkill. I understand wanting to play your console games on the go, but this isn't that far off from just bringing a TV with you places.
Yeah.
As a kid, I always had the desire to play my GameCube games on a road trip rather than my DS games. But come on, nobody wants to lug this around when this offers just as much entertainment.
The other thing is the DS had so many good games on it that like you didn't really have to, choose a different, choose some kind of horrible version of a home console that's like made by a third party anyway.
It's just kind of cool to be able to play non-portable games portably, but when that involves carrying around a 50-pound sack, the magic is gone pretty quickly.
Yeah,
See,
I
but
bet.
these things aren't necessarily portable. They allow you to play your favorite consoles in the corner of your bedroom rather than on the living room TV. What about stuff more in line with the Turbo Express and the Sega Nomad? Well, those things have existence on the menu tonight.
See, the technology required to make something along the lines of a Super Nintendo, more affordable and compact by the 2010s, definitely more than possible to take that and turn it into
the
a
Super
somewhat
Boy, I've heard of
affordable
that.
portable. That's how we got the Super Boy by Hyperkin. Let's turn it on.
Looks a lot like a Game Boy
I can't
Advance.
see the screen. The sun's too bright.
Son of a bitch!
So the Super Boy was released in 2011, and is basically the
Wait, it was released in 2011 and it's not backlit? What the hell's wrong with you guys?
SNES version of the Sega Nomad. I love how it looks, just like a Super Nintendo controller. We
Yeah, it's
pop in a
cool.
cartridge and bam, we're playing Super Nintendo games on the go. Sometimes. It may be because I bought this used, but it's a bit finicky and doesn't work properly all the time. The D-pad feels a lot cheaper and more plasticky than the official Nintendo-made one, but I mean, this is one of the more legitimate ways to play the
And what's
official
with those-
cartridges on
do
the
you
go.
plug in
But
other
if you really
controllers
wanna
to
play
it or
Super
something?
Nintendo games on the go, I'm not really sure if you care all too much about authenticity. At this point, you might as well download these games on the 3DS. or something.
Exactly.
Similarly, we've got the Retro Duo Portable, also built to play SNES games. And the design isn't nearly as charming. It looks like the most generic possible design
Looks like
for
a
a video game controller.
I actually like this one more because it's a little smaller and it looks like a controller. I think it's kind of neat. The other one looked more like a Game Boy Advance, which I thought was cool, but I like how this one is fits. Doesn't stretch out as much. I think it's kind of cool.
Or with a screen, but it comes with an adapter to play NES games. Portably, yeah, portably. That reminds me, if you want to play Game Boy games portably, just attach the Super Game Boy to either one of these handhelds, and there you have it.
Actually, that's interesting.
Actually had a fair amount of adapters made for it, so you can play games from all kinds of systems. I'd say if you wanted to play these console games on the go, this one is your best bet. But Hyperkin's still releasing new iterations
cool,
of the
Super Game Boy worked on it,
This
though.
one was the original release. The later models use a widescreen display that stretches out the games. Why?
Not like,
what was the point of this? No Super Nintendo games were widescreen. Widescreen displays are more readily available than 4x3 displays right now, but why couldn't they have programmed these things to not stretch the games out to fill the screen?
Yeah.
I am pissed at this thing I don't own. Well, if you just want a portable NES, there's this guy right here, the FC Mobile 2. Look at all this stuff it comes with. Controllers, a gun.
Yeah,
Screen's the size of
Zapper.
a grape. I mean, it works, but I think it's too small. The screen is minuscule. An NES cartridge is twice the size of this device. I don't see any reason to try to make this as compact as possible so you can fit it in your pocket if in your other pocket you have to store NES carts in it. It sounds really rough and blown out. It just feels a bit too cheap for my liking. But if you really just have to play these games on the go, it works. Though it also smells weird, but I don't know if that's really a point to make talking about video games. So these modern retro console handhelds. They're neat, but I don't see them as anything more than a novelty. Like I said, for people that just absolutely have to play video games via the original cartridges, the retro gaming purists, wouldn't they prefer playing these on a CRT with the best picture quality possible with the original controllers and unofficially made hardware and whatnot? It's still amazing to play these games via the original cartridges in the palm of your hands. I mean, that's just pretty neat. But many of these aren't the most well put together, like opening up the Superboy cartridge flap Are those wires supposed to be that visible? Jostling the systems a bit will cause glitches or freeze the games. And plus, these cartridges are so big, I can't see anybody actively thinking, finally, I can play these games portably. These cards were not meant to be taken on the road. And these systems are nothing more than a neat little thing. But what if we take more modern systems and make portables out of them? To finally be able to play GameCube and Wii games outside? Oh my god, that's the dream! Well, let's talk about these portable consoles we can play outside, but not play them because I don't have them. Look at these portable homemade GameCubes and Wiis. These are literally dreams come true. Exactly what I wanted as a kid. And these are all fan-made. You need to have an extensive knowledge on how to turn this thing into this thing. I'm telling you, I would have killed for something like this. Sure, Mario 64 DS was great, but playing either of its successors, Sunshine or Galaxy, on the go? Oh. But alas, if you want a portable N64, cool. GameCube, or Wii, you're gonna have to shell out the big bones or have a good idea of what the hell you're doing if you want to put one together. If you want to be more straightforward with this kind of stuff, obviously you can just wait until your favorite console games get remade or ported onto handheld systems.
Yeah, exactly.
Donkey Kong Country Returns came to the 3DS. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 came to the PlayStation Vita. Sure, these are downgraded in some ways, but literally all of these portable solutions are downgraded in some ways. The screen's smaller, the controls may be weird, it's always going to be different. Of course, that begs the question, what about a console that, right out of the box, can be taken on the go with you? That's right. I'm talking the Wii U. You can plug your Wii U console into a power adapter and it'll still connect to the gamepad if it's close enough. That means for Wii U games you can play directly on the gamepad screen. They're about as portable as the PS1 with the LCD monitor. All you need to do is plug the Wii U in and that's it. It'll still stream video to the gamepad screen with no internet connection, nothing. I've seen dozens of people playing it at the airport or in the car.
No.
Less than dozens, but still, it's possible.
Yeah, nobody can do that.
Home console gaming, while incredible to be seen anywhere but the home, it seems like it's a bit too tailor-made for the TV. Many games like this were made to be played sitting on a couch, connected to the internet at all times, and taking advantage of the horsepower you can achieve with a fat box, not having to take a screen and battery life into consideration. Console gaming was just never meant to be played on the go.
The Switch!
Well, that's a look at console gaming on the go. See, a lot of these things are actually pretty cool, but they have a lot of roadblocks involved, though I'm willing to look past a lot of them. With these portable home consoles, I never have to go indoors ever again!
Yeah, you do.
I still believe that. Look what just happened. Can't rain indoors. The outside's amazing. That's right. F*** you, house.
I was definitely off to a wonky start on this one, having to deal with some bees. But anyways, once again, Scott the Woz, you're amazing. That was hilarious. I did know about the Sega Nomad. I've never seen one or owned one, but I knew about it. I've heard about the Super Game Boy. And there was also this N64 one I've heard of. Forget what it was called. But it's fascinating, you know. over a long period of time, many people had attempted to make portable versions of home consoles, and the Wii U was close to it with the gamepad, but you couldn't take it far from the console itself. The Switch was finally the way that they did it. And, I remember when I first got a Wii U, I actually thought that the Wii U was portable. Like, I actually thought I could just turn the system on, then leave the house with the gamepad and just play that way, but no. The Wii U has to be in, like, sensor range of the gamepad has to be, like, in sensor range of the Wii U system itself, or else it's not going to work. And although the Wii U was such a failure, then it seemed to have pointed Nintendo in the right direction towards making the Switch, which is an amazing console. I think pretty soon, once more Nintendo Switches are in stock, I'm going to actually replace the one that I stupidly lost in December, although I have other priorities and other bills to worry about. Plus, I'm trying to move out of where I currently live. I'm not going to get into details about it. It's, I don't want to bring things down. This was a lot of fun to watch. Scott the Woz is always hilarious. I think I discovered him just like maybe in early 2019, late 2018, I think it was, and I mean, he does sort of remind me of Angry Video Game Nerd in some ways, but no, it isn't him. Scott the Woz does it his own way. Some people were saying he's like the natural next step in comedy video game reviews, but I really think Scott the Woz is his only thing. It is his own thing. And I also thought it was really cool how on some episodes of James and Mike Mondays, Scott Wozniak was actually sitting with James Rolfe and Mike Matei and showing them some pretty cool retro games. I thought that was awesome. People in the comments are saying, oh, it's great to see James play with his son, calling Scott his son, which I thought was pretty funny. I mean, if that was his son, James would have been like, I think he would have been like barely 18 at the time. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Click that bell icon to add notifications. Check out my other React videos. I actually have done some reactions to other Scott the Woz videos, as well as other things. Thank you. Goodbye.